What's going on, everybody?
What is up?
Not too
What is
much.
going on? Was that me?
Evening, gentlemen.
Yeah, that was you.
Sorry about that. I have my audio.
This is my first podcast or like that. Is that supposed to happen?
No.
Nice.
I have that was me. That was my bad. I have
Okay.
my links open so that you can hear everything that I pull up. And
Yeah,
I pulled up
next
this
stream,
stream so I could leave
yeah.
comments.
Oh, no problem. Well, so like I thought it would I wanted to do a prequel of because I loved all the characters in Delusion so much, and so I wanted to do a prequel with whoever I had the most fun drawing, and I just really liked the chemistry between Blush and Rose so much, and then how they talked about how they were friends together before all this. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I got the
Which-
idea it would be cool to do a comic book adaptation of that fake made for TV show that was on about Blush's life in 1990, when it came out.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that was just my whole idea of how bizarre would that be to have that as a backstory of his life, and it would I just had this vision of just this really campy but twisted, version of that,
So
And-
to get people
Yeah.
caught up on this, because
Yeah,
we're just picking off here, so you got people jumping into this conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, man. This is
Yeah.
fascinating.
So, guys, this is the Grody review, and I think we found the book to where the title of this stream is most fitting, in that the book Pitter Patter is one of the most out there stories I
man.
have ever read, and
Oh,
there's a bit of backstory to this of how this book came up onto our channels, both Peter Orchard Studios and my channel. Peter, why don't you give the story behind how we came to this book?
So basically, me and Jake here, when we started doing streams on my channel and his channel, we started doing all of this, right? We thought it'd be cool to look at indie books, go on Indiegogo, Kickstarter, and fund my comic. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. Just kind of look at what people are making and kind of talk about it and critique it. If something's okay, so as a backer, and I've backed a few books, and there's things that we look for, and because we're trying to get people to get into crowdfunding, right? Like backing books, get excited for it. We were looking at a lot of stuff. We came across Pitter Patter, and we were a bit harsh at first.
yeah.
It would be really funny, and not gonna be not bad things, but it would be really funny to go back in hindsight, and I wish you had clips of the conversation.
I have not had time to make the montage,
No.
but there is a montage of going from, oh man, look at this. This all right, guys. This is crazy. What are they thinking? This Pitter Patter. What kind of name is that?
Yeah.
And we're looking at the pictures, and it's
It's like a year in the making.
It kind of became like a joke, and we would always joke oh yeah, well then why don't you go back Pitter Patter, ha? But then I'm reading it more and more, and I'm you know what? I want to back this just so I can read
I'm gonna
it.
go back to Pitter Patter.
And we're gonna I'm gonna talk about it. But then I started looking at it. The more I looked at it, the more I was like, this actually looks kind of cool, man. This actually looks like a fun.
Oh.
It's more bizarre and weird than anything I've ever seen in crowdfunding, and
Right on.
I've seen a lot. And so I was
And the whole
this is
time that
actually.
he's talking about grabbing this book, we are all against it, wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
They're laughing
Let me
at me.
This is nuts.
Let me just get a quick second. While I was making the book, the guy who plays Blush, Mike Williams, I've just had so many conversations where I'm I really, really, really love what I'm doing. I love this book, but I totally get it if I'm the only one. It's just me and you that like it. Because it's kind of it's just a very, how many inside, how much niche could this possibly get?
Right.
It's so niche. And I totally get, if that reaction. So it's cool. And I'm glad that,
it's a good thing. This is to me, this is the greatest reaction because it is such a it is the greatest. What is that called when you have that spin in a story where it's it puts you on your heels? It's subverting expectations. This is the greatest example of subverted expectations that I have seen in this sphere.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, when I was looking at it, the more and more, I think it was when I finally scrolled to the bottom of the Indiegogo page. Actually, Jake, you want to share my screen?
Yeah,
I'll
here
show
we
you
go.
exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm like, this is actually kind of funny. We've been over all of this, and I used to I was like read it, and I'm like, what is going on with all these faces and everything? I get
That
to
was fun
this.
to know.
I get to the thumbnails, and I'm like, all right, I've got to pull the trigger on this. And it actually started reminding me of. All right, hold on, real quick. I'm going to stop sharing screen because I want to show this. The artwork, right?
Yeah.
It reminded me of something that me and Stanley here did a while back. We wrote a book called Fortress of Rock. This was sort of it was like an ash can, but also like an anniversary for this bar we used to go to a lot, right? And we're friends with the owner of this bar. So I was making a comic book about the bar and exaggerating. But we'd take pictures of ourselves and then
cool.
like draw the pictures of the story we're both telling.
Yeah. Right on.
And I'm like, Pitter Patter kind of reminds me of that. Like it's like pretty cool,
like
man.
Traced, rotoscoped,
Yeah.
All the characters in my books are like friends, like people that I know, and it's just for Delusions, it was during the quarantine. That's how I got the idea. Like, because I'm like, no one's doing anything, and I was normally just doing artwork. I wasn't doing comics, but there was just so much stress with what was happening at home with the quarantine that painting wasn't doing it for me. And it just hit me to do this graphic novel. And there's just ideas that I've had in my head for like 30 years, that I'm just getting out. And so it was just
and that's
insane,
this one right here.
Escapism, purge. And I just was like, I would just do a storyboard, like a rough storyboard, and send it to whoever I wanted to be that character. And they would send me selfies of them like just acting it out, and I've got just thousands of photos of like.
I was wondering about that. Is that how you did? You had them all like, you're like, hey, I need you to do like this weird pose. Send me a photo.
Yeah. So like,
that's awesome.
That gives me an idea for a comic book about all comic
influenced the writing because the expressions that I was getting and with my dialogue, I was just really getting into. It was just clicking so well with me. And
I had an idea for a comic book about all lingerie models, and now I know how I'm going to accomplish this.
Yeah, it's going to work out good for you.
And that's Delusions of Grandeur. That's actually on your website, which is we were talking earlier. I was getting blown away by this cool effect that you have on the cursor doing this weird thing. But that's Jeremy Harvey or JeremyIanHarvey.com.
Yeah,
where you can go check out for free.
Yeah, it's on it's on a few comic streaming sites. I know it's on Global Comics. Pitter Patter's on Global Comics too.
Okay.
It's on Comic Fury, but I think the Pitter Patter on there is like the beta version where it's like a lot of like stuff that I've changed since.
So what actually clicked for you to create this story?
What's that? I'm sorry.
I said, what actually clicked for you to make this story? Like, what possessed you to create this insane story?
Oh, I mean, there's just like ideas that I've had for a very long time. Like, I'm 53, so I graduated in 1990, and I really wanted to do comic books as for the rest of my life. Like, that was my career ambition. But it was just so hard because I was doing stuff that, like, just, no one would really pick up. I totally get it when I look at it. But it was just so hard. Like, you do a graphic novel and you'd send it out back then, wait like 6 months to a year, and you get a rejection letter. And, it's just, you got just discouraged. And instead I just did fine arts and did painting and did murals and just did that for, and had a great time with that. And I still do that. But
so this is your art in the book. You're the artist.
I am the artist and the writer of the books.
That's awesome.
Thank you. And
that is rad.
And I've always like wanted to you know, a regret is that I never did comic books, you know, like even though I had great time with the art. But when the quarantine hit, it was I was like halfway through an art show that I was doing,
Okay.
and I just had no, like, I just didn't have it in me, you know. I'm like, no one's gonna go to an art show right now, you know, like what am I doing this? And I don't know if anyone's gonna have any money to, like, I want to buy art, you know. I need to do something cheaper, you know. And then I like when the idea hit me to do this, you know, no one's doing anything. Everyone has free time. They could probably model for me just sending selfies of like a script that I sent out, and
Right.
It's just the perfect timing because crowdfunding took off at that same time.
Yeah. It crowdfunded. It hit really easy. You know, I had a very low goal, a low print run, and I doubled and a halved it, and I was really proud of Delusions. But once it was done, it took 2 years to make, and so once it was done, I wanted to do the prequel of one of the. What I explained earlier, was that on recorded or was that off camera?
It was like right in the middle, so I'm not sure exactly at what point.
Oh, okay.
You wanted to do on this guy. Right?
What's that?
Hold on a second. I'm zooming in on Blush. You're talking about doing the backstory on Blush?
Yeah, we find out in Delusions that in like 1992, there was a made-for-TV musical about his life, and it was kind of like just a joke that I threw in. And then when Delusions was done, I just thought it would be really cool to do the comic book adaptation of that fake movie as like Blush's backstory, because I have this really cool story for Blush, but that was the way that I was going to tell it. I was going to tell it as a made-for-TV musical. So it's a musical about this guy's life.
You said it was
his
chapter
rise
8, right?
and fall as like this wild evil cult leader, like super type character. But and
I like this particular scene in Delusions of Grandeur, because this is where I read Pitter Patter first. And so I'm like, I've seen Blush, I see Rose, and I'm like, oh, I like these characters there. That's cool that they're in there. But it's not particularly about Blush. It's about the green
Georgie.
guy. What's Georgie? So it's about Georgie. And but this scene right here where Blush, they're like doing this human knot thing, and that's hilarious. And
that was very hard to draw.
And Blush is being like really annoying, and everybody's getting annoyed with him. So he's like, "I gotta go do something real quick." Or he's like, "What time is it?" And they're like, "Oh, it's this time." He's "Oh shit!"
He's rushing it.
He's like running. He's got to go see this thing, and he's like watching the. It's like kind of bizarre, you know. You're like, "What the? What's going on?" He's like obsessed with this lady doing the kinesthetics in the pool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?" And then we get to. Right here. Yeah, and I swear you did this exact same spread in Pitter Patter. Like and I was like,
I even made a joke about that when Blush said, when he's like, see, she copied all my moves, and they're like, yeah, I don't see it. He's like, really? It looks like someone just took a bunch of photos of me dancing and traced her over me.
I like the humor in your books, because there's a lot of that.
Wall joke.
Like the bold lettering too in Pitter Patter, there's a scene where he's like, even my font's bold, and when he grows the hair.
I used everyone else that was in bold for the letters, but since he didn't hit puberty yet, I used just regular letters. Like
that's clever, man. That's not something you see very often.
In bold letters.
That is clever. I like that.
Yeah, that was pretty clever.
Things like that make a big difference.
Yeah, man. And these books were entertaining, like from page 1 to the very end. And thank you, by the way, for sending me the Delusions, because that was charm, really a gem. And okay, so you've got a new one coming out, right? Or actually, so we're talking about Delusions. We can talk about Pitter Patter, and then In Demand.
Yes.
I was just saying, Pitter Patter, for everybody watching, this is a great book. It's in demand right now. It's a big book. It's you can see for yourself. It's like a pretty big book, 106 pages.
Yeah, it's oversized.
Yeah, it's like a good price for a book, which is what, like $30? Yeah.
I think it's like 26. I thought it was.
Oh, really? Is it 26
Yeah,
now?
maybe 30 was shipping within US. I think I had
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a great book. It's the prequel to Delusions, but you don't need to read Delusions to get this book, like to understand it. It's a great book. It's in demand. How long are you thinking about leaving it in demand?
Oh, I don't have too. I don't really. I have to do a second printing or something, soon.
Yeah.
I don't have too many left, but I'm working on the next book for it, and it's up on some streaming, on some web services, like it's on Global Comics. I think it's on Comic. I would look at the Global Comics one because that's like the best quality.
That's
You're good.
Yeah.
I'm putting the link for the in demand on Indiegogo in the chat. I do highly recommend you go check out this book. What's going on,
It's
Zombie
a great
Boy?
book. What's up, Zombie Boy?
What's up, Zombie?
Yeah, if you're just joining us now, we're checking out Pitter Patter from Jeremy Harvey. And this book is out of this. I couldn't make sense of it until I actually finished the book, and then I had to be like,
I love this thing.
I would revisit this book over and over just because it's so fucking nuts and entertaining.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna get an honest answer.
When you read it, Pitter Patter, and you come to the part where they're singing.
Yes.
When you read that part, do you read it as normal talking, or does a song subconsciously go into your head?
I have Peter sing it for me.
Yeah, I was so when I read, and my daughters were like, I was reading it, and I'm like, oh man, my kids are gonna love this too. So I got them in there, and when I read, I'm like, I get into it, and I did see that there were like, the notes were in there.
Yeah,
like it doesn't start off with notes.
It's a musical.
But then you get to the scenes with like the notes, and it's obvious. It's like, oh yeah, okay, you're supposed to read this, and because it's the TV guide and everything at the beginning, and it's all about the musical. That it's like, okay, it's like those old '90s made-for-TV musicals.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy, Zombie Boy has a question for you.
What's that?
Zombie Boy has a question for you. He says, "Wow, did you use reference for that face? It's amazing."
Oh yeah, they're all photos. And in fact, I was gonna say with Pitter Patter, I shot a lot of the photos. That was the big difference between Delusions and this one, because the quarantine was lifted. So with this one, it was just like nonstop fun. Like that whole scene in the end, that big musical ending at Chi-Chi's.
Yeah.
Like that was like the greatest photo shoot ever. That was so.
Oh wow! You actually got everybody together for that? I thought that would have been like individual.
Well, I got like 6 main people, and then all the background people were just fans and friends, like from just sending in selfies.
Not a lot of people know about Chi-Chi's. Are you from the Midwest?
I'm from the Detroit area. I live in a suburb of Detroit.
Ah, nice.
All right. I was your next door neighbor. I lived in Indiana for a little bit, and we had Chi-Chi's up there all the time. And I was asked, they were like, is Chi-Chi's a real place? I was like, fuck yeah, it was a real place.
Yeah.
But dude, to bring in that reference really made me connect with that book, because I haven't heard about Chi-Chi's in a long time.
Right. Well, this one's called Chi-Chi-Cheese.
Well, Chi-Chi's, I get the reference, But,
it's an
continue with this one, man.
What's that?
I said continue with this one. So what's the...
I got a question. I got a question for you on this, because you're talking about the musical aspect of it. Peter and I had this conversation. Now, I don't expect like a full number here, but I want to hear like the first song. I want to hear like 30 seconds of how that song sounds in your head.
Well,
can you do? I know you got it in your. I know you got a song that you reference.
Oh yeah. No, I do. But just like I didn't hear your answer. Did you guys have anything in your head when you read it? Like, was it musical at all?
So I was trying to I was trying to find the tune. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so I'm still kind of working on it.
Others. Yeah.
Some are definitely the first one. It's like I didn't quite find a tune for that one. There
it's
was
all over the place.
this. Where's what the Ed McMahon? What's he singing about? There was one that was really. It was kind of easy.
Yeah, Ed McMahon I thought was an easy one.
Yeah. Like it feels like there's a. Let's see here. Man,
I did not catch any of the music riffs I was supposed to. I kept on trying to make them up in my own head with my own
Yeah, I'm curious if there's like a clue to the song we should have in our head.
That's what I was wondering, because I have had people that read it and they're like, "Yeah, this is the song." And I'm like, "Well, how did it go?" And then they'd sing this song to me, and I've heard it like in different, like the song in just different ways.
Right.
A few different times. And that like blew my mind that like by reading it, it would just subconsciously kind of bring out this creativity in your own head.
Yeah.
Which is actually, that's kind of cool. Well, that's cool.
Other people didn't work with either. I was hoping for it though.
Like I could kind of hear like some music to it, but also there was a little bit like it didn't match the music in my head, but it actually kind of worked because I'm hearing like those old '90s musicals, and they didn't always line up with the beat of the song. You know, they put it's like sometimes they'd squish too many words in there. And the whole thing about the first intro song right here, she's like, the mom read the diary. And she's like, I read your diary, and I gotta say,
a great way to tell the backstory of the the world.
And I love
backstory was.
I love a good.
Diary and he's busted.
Yeah, that's hilarious. And then she's like, and not just to make it worse. Also, I shared it with the extended family, and it's like, oh God, no! And then they all start singing to him about like his diary, and then the boobies got me, man. I laughed so hard because they're all just yelling boobies at him. And he's like, this is not happening. The whole family's yelling boobies, and I'm like, this kind of sounds like something my family might do to me if they were trying to embarrass me. And the Orchards, I guess they're kind of like cults. They're kind of a cult.
So is there an actual score that you had in mind for us to listen to? Like we could pull an audio track and play along with it?
No. I kind of don't want to sing it because I don't want people to read it and know, I kind of like that
to have that
coming
beat
up and having their own version. I don't want to
I
sing
like
it.
that. I like that everybody has their own unique little thing to it.
Yeah, I like that it does that to some people. It doesn't do it. I think it does it to.
I feel robbed. I feel like if you're the creator,
but even like that,
you had.
Well, and I think in the second book, there's a song that I want to record. There's a song that I want to put out. It's called Sassafras.
And the Delusions, there's like a soundtrack to this book because I noticed.
Yeah, when I was
throughout the whole book,
it's optional. It does enhance the book. You don't have to, but whenever there's like a part, like because it's very like Delusions is kind of a cinematic, thing for me when I did it. It was just because of music,
like montages.
People. Yeah, so I had music in my head for that scene. So you could, there's a Spotify playlist of Delusions of Grandeur if you want to like play the music with it. But it's not.
I might actually do that.
It's not necessary, but people that I've never had anyone that did do it not like really enjoy it. So
I'm gonna do it.
I'd love to hear what you think.
Because what's great about this book is that it's got multiple facets of entertainment, and bringing it back around. One of the first things that we looked at and kind of like joked about a bit was the artwork when we first looked at it. When I read it, I can't imagine it having any other kind of artwork.
Right?
The artwork is perfect for this book.
No
doubt. It fits the story, the humor, everything about it. And I'm like, because when we got into it, I never really thought about doing I wasn't in the mind space of indie books like this or like 8 Ball, like that the classic indie comic books,
Right.
I'm thinking X-Men, 90s action comics and stuff. When I get into these, but so this was actually really good to get out of that headspace because there's so many books on these crowdfunds that aren't that creative because they're just their version of Superman, their version of Spider-Man, their version, you know.
Yeah, I mean, everything's great. You know, everything can be done awesome. That's just not in me. You know,
there's some great stories. I'm like, man, I wish you had done something. There's like books that we looked at. I'm like, God, the concept is awesome. Why are you putting it in the niche? You know, take it and do something a little bit more. This is 100% unique, and it was entertaining. This is like one of the most entertaining books I have gotten in crowdfunding by a long shot.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we got more coming, right?
Yeah, I just started book 2, Sassafras. I'm like 3 pages into it. And that one takes place in Detroit in like the late 80s, which is kind of like my whole, you know, all my memories and stuff. So I'm going to like put a lot of that flavor into it. And it's starting off with a really, really, really fun scene that I'm going to start shooting on Tuesday. And it will be the first time that I've ever shot Rose and Blush together. So it's like really perfect for this scene. And I'll be putting it up on my like at Global Comics. I'll be putting it up on there for
do those two does Blush and Rose, the actors, do they know each other? Are they like friends?
No, but they do now. Like they met through me like last year, and you know, because Mike, who plays Blush, he just moved back, so he was living in New York during Delusions, and he just moved back to Detroit. So
that's awesome.
There's definitely what do you call like good chemistry between those two, and that's surprising to hear.
Yeah, they're both really fun to draw. They're both extremely expressive, you know, and they don't really need any. They don't need much to just get out there, you know, and just go all out. And I'm really excited to get them together.
This is Blush and Rose for everybody watching right here. Two what do you call it? Like two aspiring cult leaders.
Yeah.
Sure.
They have so much in common.
Yeah. Man. And I'll tell you what, the book was entertaining all the way throughout, but I'm still waiting for that moment, you know? And I'm gonna show the moment that got me. When he shows up to Rose's house, and she's like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I mean, yeah, what do you mean, is everything okay?" And she's just like, "Are you sure everything's okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't understand why you're not believing me." And it's because it's like covered in blood. You gotta read it to find out why. But holy shit, man! And after that scene, by the way, when the popping it starts happening, I was like,
that was great.
I was like, wow, this book just took a 180, and I am sold.
In book 2 and 3 as well.
I noticed in Delusions, it's not a similar story, but it's got similar notes, right? Like it hits the same kind of points. There is a similar scene, and what I will say, this is something that I like to see when I'm looking at books. Issues 1 to issues 2, Pitter Patter is like a leap forward in like the story. Delusions is great, but Pitter Patter is a much better told story, better drawn. Everything about it is it is an improvement, and that's always awesome to see, because that just means the next one's going to be even better. I've seen books regress, and I've seen books kind of stay stagnant, but so it's always good to see when book gets even better than the last book, and then it's going to keep getting. I'm excited, man. I want to see the next one.
I think you will really, really enjoy where the story goes. I got them both like 2 and 3 really planned out, and there's like it's just wild, and it's like Delusions where you did not expect that ending, you know, kind of deal.
So Pitter Patter being a prequel to Delusions,
yes.
Are we now looking at a sequel for Pitter Patter? Is that how this lines up?
I'm gonna do like I got my next story kind of. You mean like my story after Pitter Patter?
Right.
Well, so we've got Pitter Patter, the book 1 of 3, the Prize Pig.
Yeah.
Part 2
Prize
is going to
Pig.
be take off right at the end of this book.
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll still be a prequel to Delusions.
So it's 3
2
prequels
and 3 are
and
both.
1
Yeah,
main.
it's a continual story. Yeah.
Okay.
The story. Yeah.
And then you have plans for. Are you going to go through and do all the other? Because I'm actually intrigued by all the characters in Delusions, especially the guy, the yellow with the puppet. I want to know his story
that's
too.
Leo. Leo's in Pitter Patter. He's the reporter.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah,
I did
Leo's
not.
in Pitter Patter.
I did not catch that.
Oh no way. That's cool.
Well, I mean, I read Pitter Patter first, so I might have caught it if I read Delusions first. Now I got to go back and read it again, which I will, and I'll actually enjoy it because this is a book that you can't keep reading over and over again.
Leo's in it, and then one of the commercials is Mauve.
Is that that's this one right here, right?
Let me blow you up. Hang on.
Yeah. They are arcade, or is it the pinball machine?
There we go.
Oh, that arcade. That's Periwinkle, the rocker.
Periwinkle.
Yeah.
I thought that one looked familiar. Obviously, like the face is pretty distinct.
He has his hit song "Swan and the Wood Chipper."
And I do like the commercials. There's like commercials throughout Pitter Patter that I really thought were funny because it's like watching a musical.
The story is if you were watching the TV while it was playing at the time. So the story is that because there's those breaking news reports that of Blush breaking out of prison while the story of his life is playing.
Which
so that's
such a great way.
Part 2.
That's such a great way of introducing intermissions into the story to give a little bit of pause, give the viewer so that you reduce viewer fatigue or reader fatigue on that. That's a fantastic way of doing that. Do you have any
cut to like interesting stuff?
Yeah, exactly. It gives you the opportunity to jump into the next scene without the having to lead up into it and stuff like that. I love that approach. Have you thought about selling advertisement for the actual advertisements?
That'd be hilarious.
No, because I got kind of like no.
There's also media mail. If you did that, you wouldn't be able to throw it in like ship it medium. I don't know if you ship media mail, but if that's like a slightly cheaper.
I just use UPS.
Now that I know how you make these images take place, it's hilarious that your guys actually sit down and do these poses for you.
If you look at some of the poses and some of the pages, they were so fun to shoot. Like the whole scene, like the first scene at Cheese with when Pinky, the old guy with the beard, the older man with the beard.
Oh yeah,
He's and man, he was so funny.
He's like a party guy, right? This guy.
Yeah, Pinky. It's his birthday.
He's funny.
Coming to Cheese for his birthday.
Is that the guy and the girl from Delusions?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm seeing all of this. I didn't realize it. I thought he was a great character, but reading Delusions, those two were great in Delusions as well.
Oh my
God. All right. So knowing that this is how you're doing this, I've got so many questions now. Without selling anybody out, without pissing anybody off, who is the absolute worst person to work with?
There we go.
I want to hear the horror stories.
That doesn't happen. It's just been really good. It's just been.
Then you haven't done it enough. Then you got to have somebody who's like, oh my God, this is. You need to get yourself like the Flash or someone.
Then it could be you if you want.
Oh yeah. Hey, I want to be. I want to be in the book. Yeah, I want to be in the next one, man. You mentioned that earlier.
A lot of characters in Pitter Patter were people that like Delusions, and I'm like, that's great. You want to be.
That's so rad.
Yeah,
that's so rad.
100%. And it should be me. I'm the one that sold it to everybody.
I got like 100%. I got Peter, no doubt.
Look at that profile.
I was the one like rooting for this book for the longest time, and then finally I was like, you know what? I am going to prove it to them, and I bought Jake that book, and that's when he sent me Delusions, and I was like, oh man. And I'm sorry, Jake, I kept Delusions, but I sent him the Pitter Patter.
The fact that you sent that to me, I immediately hit Peter up and was like, "What the fuck, bro?" And he was like, "Dude, you gotta read it." So I sat down with my copy, and I got into the first 3 pages, and I was like, "What the fuck did you set me up with?" And then I could not put it down.
Yeah, that was the same way.
Like, what is this bizarre, zany stuff going on?
Dude, my story on that. So Peter was down here. We were at my parents' house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and
you wouldn't believe me
nowhere. I didn't believe it. Like, I was the exact same way. So we're at my parents' house. He's like, "You got to read this. You got to read this." So we go for a drive to the store, which is about 20 miles away, to get a case of beer. And he's like, "You got to read this." I'm like, "Fine, I'll fucking read it." And I'm blind. I can't read anything in front of me. It's dark outside. We're drinking. And I start reading it in the car with a little like dash light thing, like trying to like get it. And I'm like, "Oh, I kind of get this. Like, I'm kind of understanding where you're coming from. Like, this is actually kind of good. I wasn't expecting it." And I was like, I'm a YouTube guy, and I'm like, I can't read this. I can't do this without doing it on camera. This has to be a video. So we filmed a whole video of the experience, the reading, like we read like half the comic book, sitting there laughing, having a good time doing the whole thing. We ended up not being able to use that video because Peter's got all kinds of like bullshit issues with his channel that we can't discuss openly, but it completely prevented us from being able to show. When Peter gets a Patreon, this video's going on his Patreon.
Oh, yeah,
It's
definitely.
hidden behind a paywall. But yeah, it was good.
Also, I don't like hold back sometimes. I'll be just like, every time I see an I have to go like, like, I don't know. And when I really get into a book, I'll sit there and I'm just like really getting into it. And
there was
the voices and everything. There
was a portion of that drive where he was like, no, you're doing it wrong. And as he's driving, he takes the comic book and starts reading it to me while he's driving.
While I'm driving.
Wow.
That I'm like, awesome. No, this is the voice, dude. You got to read it like this.
Yeah, you're not saying boobies right.
Boobies. Like, that's how I imagine it. Boobies.
It's crazy. Like,
there's like 30 boobies in here.
The thing that's so wild, it's like, yeah, I didn't do comics until this happened like 4 years ago, but I've never really, like, I've had great reactions from my art. My art, it's been awesome, and I get people at my shows and stuff, but like, I've had nothing like has affected people like Delusions of Grandeur did when I did that book. There was people that were like really affected by it. And so like, I'm like, I've never like touch someone that way, like move someone like that, or like, like where they want to talk about, and stuff like that. And then just this here, like my it's like the most that my work, me doing something creatively, has affected other people, and it's just awesome, to find something.
Yeah, man, that is awesome.
Especially finding it in my 50s, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I love it.
Hey, what's
It's
up, Mo
inspiring.
Biggs in the chat? It's nice to see you here, man. I do have a lot of bullshit issues.
Yeah.
You're not the only one that noticed, Mo. Everybody notices. I laughed a lot when I read this, and reading it with my kids and everything. And when we got to that page, and what is he saying now? What are you saying now, Mo?
He says, "I never touched someone that way. You sound like an embarrassed Peter 30 seconds into his honeymoon."
I get the feeling you've tried to touch people that way, and you were probably told not to do it.
And why? But like, why hold back? I don't even know what's going. Touch them that way, and
That's
Yeah.
good. All right.
Mo means Mo.
Mo means Mo. I like the biter. There's the biter and the oh,
That's
man.
great.
Every character in this book is great, man.
Thanks so much, man. Thank you.
So yeah, when I talked about it, and I told everybody about this book, and they didn't believe me, but they're coming around, and we got to get like the word out. When you get the next book coming out, I'm going to be blasting it out there. People need to read this.
Well, yeah, I mean, find me on Globo Comics because that's where I'll be uploading it. So, I'm guessing like the next book I'll start up. Yeah, love that page. I used to be beautiful.
And then he just shoves the
Oh,
fork
that was a funny
into his
like,
mouth. Like,
yeah,
what the
because
fuck?
that part was like because of how I do the book and I make come up with the scenes. I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta have Blush wash his mouth out with soap.
Yeah, of course.
Take
That was
photos of
perfect.
How dare you disrespect me? And then she uses dance to make him like, oh, God, it's insane.
He's gonna get her back. Oh, and the guy who plays Blush, Mike Williams, he's gonna play several characters in the whole story between the three books, but he also plays his mother, Athula. So Athula
Yeah.
are the same person. So I'm doing photos of like him, like as Blush, and then as the mom.
Did he put makeup on for that?
No,
that part, or you just
I
draw him
draw
taking
it on.
pictures?
No, I just we don't have costumes either. I just draw over his clothes.
So if you're just joining us, we're talking about Pitter Patter, a book that Peter showed to us for like the last 2 months or
Dude,
more.
Almost every episode, I bring it up.
Episode, almost talking about it against our will, mind you. But when we finally got around to reading it, it became one of the most entertaining indie comics we have ever read. And now we have with us the creator, the writer, and the artist, Jeremy Harvey. So thanks for coming in and seeing us. But Jeremy Harvey here is explaining Pitter Patter, and it's a prequel to a book called Delusions of Grandeur. And I got to tell you, when I first saw the art, I was a little taken aback. I was like, what? But as soon as you told us that you had people actually sit there and pose for you while you took photos so you could trace it and make it art, that to me blew my mind.
Yeah. You want to hear something else wild?
Yes.
I did everything on my phone. I don't have a tablet.
I was gonna ask you what you used to do.
Man,
I use my Android 20, a stylus, and my reading glasses. My whole studio fits in my fanny pack.
That is
so
cool.
much respect for that.
So
That's actually really cool to hear.
Yeah, I just work on it wherever I go. If I'm in line, I can work on it. It's just like whenever I get free time.
This is Rocky Horror Picture Show after it took acid twice.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, man. Yeah.
I wanted to make a comic book that was as fun as Rocky Horror. I wanted to be a cross between Rocky Horror and Carrie.
I think you beat Rocky Horror out.
Oh man, thank you.
Where was that?
Yeah, I'm waiting to see the movie, and I gotta say, Mike Williams and cast better be like, don't bullshit. Like, don't let Hollywood like try to give you some bullshit like ideas of who needs to be playing. You know who needs to be playing these characters.
He's a physical comedy. I mean, it's unbelievable what he can do. Like, he totally sells the story. I mean, I would not be the same without him. I cannot praise him enough. I mean, pure genius with.
When you get your next comic out, okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put some requirements on you here.
Sure.
And you can handle this. You can handle this. But I'm gonna say that you got to do this. When you get this next comic book out, you got to come back. We want to do another stream. We want to talk to you again.
Oh, yeah.
We also want Mike. We want you to bring Mike along.
Oh yeah.
No. I'm not done yet. I want him in costume.
Oh, he's a cool. We don't have costumes. Yeah, no, we don't have costumes. But
I will send the costume
when he busted out of prison. That's yeah. But
you can't tell me that you can't find a straight jacket on Amazon.
No, I want to see him. Well, actually, yeah, that would work too. Where's it at? This panel right here, man.
I want to see. No, I was going to say that. I was going to save that for the actual stream. I was going to say, dude, now you got to do the dance.
Yeah, he's got to do the dance. Is this the guy? Who is this one?
Oh, that's my friend Sterling. He's just a Detroit legend, and he came over and just went all out. I mean, one of the best that was in my top 3 photo shoots for the book. Was him? He just like took the assignment and got a
What's up,
promotion.
Luniverse?
Yeah, this book is hilariously entertaining. Like in a way where you want to look away, but you can't because it's so fascinating.
Man.
Okay. Have you heard? This is your second crowdfund? Do you do anything on? Have you done it on Kickstarter, or are you familiar with Fund My Comic, or what sites do you use?
I did Delusions on Kickstarter, and then I did an art book called the Kokomo Cabana. I did that one on Kickstarter, and then for Pitter Patter, I went to Indiegogo. So didn't Kickstarter like kick up their percentage?
I don't know. I don't like Kickstarter for a few reasons. One of them being that everything on there is all TNA. It's like 30 covers of TNA, and I'm like, all right. I can't even look at see what the book's about because I got to go through the tiers of NSFW and
if you're exploring for what to buy and who to look for, I could see that being an issue. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I understand a lot of them have built-in fans, and that's okay. So people are going to go there, but I'm trying to get people into backing books, and it's a lot of fun. When you find something like this is like a gem that I never heard of you, never didn't know anything about Pitter Patter, and the more we talked about it, I swear, dude, that he did the Pitter Patter on me because the more I looked at it, the more I could not look away from it.
Under the spell.
Yeah, I was like, I had to read this thing, man, and I'm glad it is. It is probably the best. Let's see how the way to put it. One of the most sad, glad I bought. I guess however you put that. Glad I bought books. There's a few out there that I'm really glad I bought, but a lot of them I kind of expected that I was going to like it. This book, I had no idea what to think, and
well, I don't, It kind of just comes from a place of ignorance because I was really hardcore into comics in the 80s and the 90s. But then when I just did my own thing and went into fine art and stuff like that, I just didn't, it just kind of slipped away from me. I kept up with things. One of my favorite comics is Black Hole by Charles Burns, and stuff like that I would catch, but so much got away from me that I just don't know what's out there. So I'm doing this thinking well, I've never seen this before. I'm doing something that I've never seen before, but I don't really know what's out there. And what I used to know, I kind of forgot. So I was just going at it as just kind of someone who does fine art, for 30 years, jumping into comics.
Have you found anything on Indiegogo or any of these crowdfunds? Because I love the crowdfund idea. Have you found anything on there that you're would recommend?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Have you seen or backed any books that you'd recommend to somebody, or because I'm all about finding new stuff.
Yeah, no, I just don't get a lot of free time. I have a pretty really, really busy kind of life, and
this year was pretty crazy.
Time I get, I just go.
It's been a rough year.
Yeah.
All around. No, but let's see. We're at the 48. How about we go ahead and we open the book and actually take a look? And Jeremy, you can take us through the story as I turn the pages. We're not going to give away everything, of course, because spoilers. But the first 15 pages or so, we're gonna take a look here. Let me set up.
Sure.
You good with that, Peter, Stanley?
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Do it.
Right.
Check it out.
Let's do it. Let me get my camera here.
Get them reading glasses on.
All right. The thick of it.
Oh, I got to ask something too. Just opening this up, Jake. When you get there, I'll ask it. This introduction, it's got the Spanish character, the Mexican character. I'm assuming. What is this girl at the very beginning? She's looking at the TV guide, waiting for the show to start.
That's
her story?
Sally. That's the young. Look at her pajamas with the stripes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought that, or when I picked this up earlier today, I thought that, but I didn't put the pajamas together. I
Yeah.
was looking at the
So,
face.
yeah. So Sally, who stole Blush's dance moves in Pitter Patter, was just a young girl
Oh,
when the Pitter Patter came out on TV. So this is her
this is
watching
where. Okay, all
as
right.
a young child. So yeah, it's a young Sally. So most of the characters in Delusions are in Pitter Patter, but just like in like small, yeah, that's young Sally.
Her right here.
Yeah.
All right.
So this for everybody who was like watching earlier. We talked about Delusions, where Blush is like he runs away. He's like, "Oh shit, what time is it?" And he runs away and he goes to the swimming pool, and there's this girl stealing his moves. Well, this is a prequel book, so this is her as a little kid.
Yeah, she was a fan.
Yeah, she's a fan. She's got the poster on the wall and everything.
Oh, I love the tie-ins. Like the MCU could learn from you.
No kidding. All right.
Yeah, so this
it
starts with her. Yeah, she turns it on. She's all excited because her show of her obsession is on. So she's going to watch his life, and then it starts with a commercial. And the commercial starts with a character who is in Delusions.
Sorry, Mo.
Periwinkle. So in Delusions, he was a cult leader. He was a rock star who was like a David Bowie kind of rock star who became a cult leader, almost destroyed the world, and now he's in the cult leader anonymous center with everyone else. But this was a commercial of him in the 80s. And then there's the news segment talking about what's going on.
Okay. All right. This is where it suddenly changed up on me. I had no idea what I was in for when we got here.
Yeah, and the special. It's a CBS special because they show the Pitter Patter, and then it cuts to the made-for-TV movie.
Okay.
Starts off with a Thula Saltador. She's sitting on her throne, and she's reading her son's diary.
She's like, "What? What? No! What? Ah! How dare you!"
There's a lot of stuff in there about her. He's got some plans. She knows all about his plans and what he wants to do. She's pissed off, running down the hall. She's getting more and more pissed. She gets up to his door, opens it.
You.
It's like, oh, hello, mother.
I read your diary.
I read your diary. I told Mike, I'm like, I'm gonna make your hair like Prince Valiant, and I'm gonna give you freckles, and you're gonna look like little Lord Fauntleroy. He was cracking up. And then, so yeah,
Oh my God.
breaks into the song that she read his diary. She knows his plans, and then the plans is that the Saltador family clan, they possess a secret dance called Pitter Patter, and it can only be done by the Saltadors, and it's been like passed down from from the beginning of time or whatever. And this dance can hypnotize people and make them do your bidding, and you can just control people by not even talking. Like your moves just kind of puts images into people's heads and gets people to do things. So she learns that. But the problem is that in like the 1800s or the 1700s or whatever, there's people that it doesn't work on, and those people banded together and they started their thing called the Crimson Fist. And
that's old on Jake. That's on the next page, top
Yeah.
right.
I'm going too fast. I'm sorry. So
No. Keep going.
Yeah, you
this
good.
shows This shows like the backstory with the Salvadors, and so yeah, they went all over the world, hypnotizing the world. They had everything under their powers. But then the Crimson Fist, they all banded together and they killed every Salvador. And except for a small amount got away, and they've lived in seclusion ever since, up until this day. And there's still a secret society. We don't go outside with our dance. We don't show people. But Bethula found out that her son Blush was going to do the Pitter Patter dance. His goal was to go on Star Search, the TV show, the variety TV show in the late 80s, and perform Pitter Patter on TV, which
all in musical, by the way.
The population. Yeah. So there is like his big dream is to go on Star Search. You see Ed McMahon. Ed McMahon is played by Jimmy Doom, who plays Georgie Smelt in Delusions.
Oh my god.
I'm like, I want you in this one, but you're going to be Ed McMahon.
Mo Big says, "Was this comic directed by John Waters?"
Yeah, me and Mike were like huge John Waters fans. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like a B movie. I want it to be like a B movie type vibe. You know, I want it to be very campy and B movie, and just I wanted to make a really fun comic, one that was just a really good time to read, and just I wanted to make the funniest graphic novel that I've ever, you know.
No, this book is definitely fun.
They find out about Blush's plan. They humiliate him because you can't pitter patter. But the reason he can't pitter patter is because he hasn't hit puberty yet. For the Salvatores, it comes later in life, and so he can't do.
He's like SpongeBob level, like immature.
Yeah. Kind of. So he's even trying to do his pitter patter on one of his mind slaves that run his household. And it's just not working. He's too young. He's only 17, you know. So this is like also a coming of age story. So this is one of the commercials. This is for Bourgeois Beer. Bourgeois Beer is going to be back in book 2, and they're going to be in book 3 as well. And they're going to be more involved into the story.
Okay. Oh my god.
Just dumping it down in there. That's great.
This is another commercial.
Well, what is that character? Is that a sandcastle drinking?
Where at?
One page before that.
Oh, Bourgeois Beer.
The Bourgeois Beer. What is that thing with the beer hat?
With this, I wanted to do a beer commercial, like an 80s beer commercial, but I wanted to have like a Spuds McKenzie California Raisin kind of mascot.
Yeah.
And so that's Morlock, the owl statue in Bohemian Grove. I thought he'd be a really cool like party mascot, so I gave him a
now I see
party hat.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
that's one of the things that I was like, what the fuck is that?
So he's like this big party mascot for Bourgeois Beer, the drink of old money.
I am going to put forth my elevator pitch for a cameo appearance in the next comic book. And when I do that, and I'm going to have a solid like pitch for you when I get it together. When I do that, I am going to also be pitching you on the fact that I need to be drinking Bourgeois Beer.
So then we go into Blush's job. Oh, Blush is late for work. Yeah, you can pitch that definitely. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like act like I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
So we go into Mike's job, or Blush's job. He works at Chi Chi's, and so we cut him there. Damn it, Blush, you're late again. And then it's his boss, Mr. Scotia, and then Blush is trying to be all cool about it, and
this feels
Brenda,
personal.
she's pissed off, and she just runs in and just starts biting his hand. She's mad at him for being late because she wanted to go home to watch Highway to Heaven. She made him miss it, and I just wanted to show like just how like kind of passive Blush is as a person before he becomes a cult leader. So she's biting his hand like really hard to the point that it's bleeding, and all he's doing instead of trying to push her off while he's biting, he's just going, Brenda, you're biting my hand, Brenda, you're biting my hand. Instead of like doing anything about it. And then so that's when we see Rose, who's in Delusions of Grandeur. She's a new hire at Chi Chi's, and so she's going to shadow Blush. And so Blush is like, well, hey, you shadow me, you're shadowing with the best. Here, would you like to try on some linen gloves? Some white linen gloves. And she's,
when I was reading this, like I was saying, I got SpongeBob vibes from him, kind of.
Yeah.
And she was kind of like a Star, Patrick Star kind of a.
Patrick Star.
Well, I mean, it's not the characters aren't the same. She's clearly like the more intelligent sophisticated. I don't know what you would say, but like the dynamic between the two.
So so she likes the gloves. She's got them on, and so like there's a table over here. They've been sitting there. They've been drinking all day. They're testing out birth spots for their birthday because it's his birthday coming up. So he's doing pre-birthday testing spots. So he's completely wasted. They're completely
wasted. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
and so Blush is
that would be me, by the way.
Pay for their food. They refuse to pay for the food because it's too cold. So Blush is trying to go over there, and he's like, they're talking to him, and they're just totally messing with him. It's pretty funny. They're making a sexual innuendo out of everything that he says. To the point that it just drives him nuts. And then, what's going on? Okay, so they're laughing at him, and then finally he's like, "Okay, we'll get you to pay for this food if you do one thing." He's like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Let me see your gloves." And he's like, "No way, man." He's like, "Come on, let me see them. They're really the prettiest things I've ever seen." So Blush hands Pinky, his name's Pinky, hands him the gloves, and then Pinky slaps him across the face. So they throw him through the door. So they're cracking up, they're laughing. And they're just laughing, dying. And so, and then like all of a sudden, Flush has a little snaps at them, and then they freak out because they snaps at him. They're like, "Oh, I heard that. I'm telling my brother. He's in the special forces." And then Mr. Scotia is yelling at Blush, and so Blush just freaks out, starts screaming. Everyone at Chi-Chi stops eating and stares at him. And then Blush breaks into a pitter-patter, another pitter-patter, a few pages of it, but he hasn't hit puberty yet, so it's not going to work. But he thinks it works, so he's asking about it. And then Pinky makes fun of him, makes a really funny joke at him, and everyone's pointing and laughing at him. And then Blush, "I hate you." He runs out, leaves, slams the door behind him. You can hear him laughing through the door. And he's staring
then we get the empowerment song.
So he's staring at a whippoorwill, and then it makes him break into this like kind of a country song about a whippoorwill, a lonely whippoorwill, and the song's just about it's about how he knows he's a prize pig because his mother called him a prize pig. "You think you're a prize pig?" And he's like, "Yes, Mama, I am a prize pig, but I'm at the dog show." And that's what the song's called, "The Prize Pig at the Dog Show." And halfway through the song, here goes to the pig. Yeah, no, I'm not a prize pig. And then his mom's in the mom forms into the moon up above his head. His mom says, "But you're at the dog show." And then so the song keeps going and goes back into the chorus, but this time the chorus is sung by someone behind him. He turns around and it's Rose, and she's singing the song along with him. And then this is really fun, guys.
Really oh, dude, I'm loving hearing this from you, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's such a difference. I didn't imagine this as a country song.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But plus, there's a lot of back stuff.
Well, there's lots of moments in it. The beginning is kind of achy breaky, but there is moments that it breaks into. I kind of had a lot of different things, but then we soon learn that they have so much in common. They're just telling things that they have in common. Like, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And we're like, well, what about the big one? I got a big one here. I'm going to tell you. And they're like,
the big. They're telling each other secrets.
Yeah, and then they both find out that their whole goal in life is to become a cult leader and rule the world.
Which is where we get to one of the pages that was on your campaign right here, where they both scream at each other, "I want to be a cult leader, rule the world."
Yeah, that's where it comes out.
And then you get this 2-page, like, I can just...
They can't believe it. They're
so both shocked. Just like... they're like, "No, baby."
Cannot believe they're just staring and staring.
Oh, is that good? Oh, that's bad, isn't it? There's so many emotions going on in these pages, and I'm never admitting that ever again. Yeah, but never yet. So how are we gonna do this friendship? Like clearly they're about to be like besties for life. Well,
Yeah.
you imagine, although I did read Delusions of Grandeur, and there's like some moments in there where that might be questionable. I got thinking of the glove scene where he's like trying to do the pitter patter to her, and she slaps him, or it's not a glove. She like slaps him 3 times. Do it again.
Yeah.
Try to do that again.
Yeah.
A little bit of like resentment or like I don't know, some frustration there between.
She's jealous of Sally.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So their friendship, all of a sudden, you just stop seeing them, and then they just went in their own directions. And
this is an awesome book.
I can't tell you.
I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed reading this book. Like, I'm going to read it a second time as soon as issue 2 comes out because I want to read it all together in one go.
Oh, wow. Well, issue 2 is not going to be out till probably like sometime in 2026.
So, are you going to do like what we see is a lot of people doing sign-up pages, like a sign-up. You'll go get a sign-up email so that every update you have for it.
I should, yeah. I
it's
really
a good way to test, an audience to see.
Definitely. Yeah, I think about that every book.
Are there? What are your social media handles? Like, do you have updates on that too?
Oh yeah, Jeremy Harvey Facebook, Jeremy and Harvey on I'm on Blue Sky, Threads, and Instagram.
Where was I at? Okay, right here. I was about to pull up a new tab, and I'm like, I don't want people seeing my search history again.
No, the link for the In Demand on Indiegogo is pinned at the top of the chat. If anybody wants to go out there and look at it yourself and back it, I do highly recommend backing this book. It is that good, and it is that bizarre.
I'm really glad I'm on here, man. You guys are amazing. It's great to hear.
My whole favorite part was when him and his bestie here start synchronizing, saying that they both want to be cult leaders and dominate the world, and then immediately going after that, he's hitting puberty, and then the real insanity just hits the ceiling. And oh my god, man! I don't
Hold on, there's a
brain of yours, but goddamn, dude, you've got one for 1 in a million.
There's one particular page that when I got to this page, I was like, that is funny. Where's it at? Okay, I'm on it right here. This page right here. Both of these pages kind of together. Let me see. Pull it back a little bit. So we've got. He's like going back to work. What's happening exactly on this page?
Oh well, so he goes back to work and he's like ready to he's like all like ready to demand. I
like the chef, by the way. That dude's cool.
Yeah, thank you. So he goes back to work and then everyone's really nice to him. They feel bad by how they treated him, and he was going to go in there and to try to he was had a different attitude when he came in there, and it was like the first time everyone was ever really nice to him, so I'm just like, and that was just to catch him off guard and to help set him up for what is about to come
right here. This panel right here.
Yeah. So that's when Mr. Scotia is talking to him. Mr. Scotia is going to make him a general manager. He's being so nice to him. And then, so he's just like, yeah, I can do it. There he's dancing up there. He's all happy about it. And then that's when puberty breaks.
And his font changes.
That's when I use the bold font into his talking now. That's when he now talks with a bold font on his letters. And then
Yahtzee.
So he's beating it out. He's beating his chest. He's like, beat it out. Beat it out. Yeah, he's totally going at it. And then he yells, just yell it, get it out. And
yes!
And then so we find out that Pinky is back. Now he's having his birthday, not his pre-birthday, but he's now having his birthday at Cheese. And now he's specifically requesting that Blush is the waiter for him for this.
It was so good.
Yeah, man. And then it gets wild. It gets wild, everybody, and you gotta read it.
Yeah, and I was really, you are a very good storyteller because I didn't see any issues with the ongoing story arc or how you set up
That's
your
awesome.
different scenes. The flow of it was so fluid. I was
easy
very
read,
happy when I
That's great,
when I got
man.
this book from Peter.
Means a lot, man. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, dude, I think you got one for the books because if people actually like get past just at first glance looking at the art, it's like Peter said, the art goes with the style of the book.
Yeah, it's very niche, but I just want to write something. It's this niche, but hopefully if I do it as best as possible, it will transcend past that. So,
yeah, and that's kind of why I want to get the word out there because I can see, it's like a niche that a few people might enjoy, maybe the Rocky Horror Picture Show crowd. But honestly, the story, the humor, and everything in this book, everybody, I think most people would enjoy.
Yeah, it's on point. This book is on point.
It's like one of those things where it's like, how do you get past? Yeah, how do you get past that niche of the people scrolling? You know what I mean? How do you stop? And that thumbnail that got me. It got me to stop.
That was a last minute decision. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is a cool book too, and the cover is even pretty clever. Like the mom's pulling the strings and he's pulling the strings.
Well, that cover is a reference to Maiden.
Oh, nice.
Maiden.
And this is Gem, right? This is I was just looking at something yesterday.
Yeah, I wanted like a really 80s cover. So the font is Gem, and the it's a not like the cover is the Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden.
Hell yeah, that's badass. Oh, and you know what?
A little bit of Eddie in there.
Speaking of which, yesterday, on my channel, for anybody who comes and watches this, because I made that post on Twitter about. We're going to talk about how my episode got banned yesterday.
That's insane.
It's insane that I watched a whole bunch of videos without commentary, and then this got copyrighted to the point where they dude, 1 copyright claim, but now we've got all these copyright claims fighting with each other over the copyright of your video. It's just going to take the whole thing down. That's it. It wasn't that big of a deal.
I can't believe that actually happened to you. I thought you only got copyright struck. I didn't know you got.
I didn't get struck at all. It was just I got claimed because of the Turtles thing, the SNL skit at the beginning. Then there was the Transformer. Like almost everything I watched is from the College Humor channel or like the big channel. So
it's
not gone yet, Mo. No, it's not gone.
Peter has a channel and it's already gone.
No, you can go watch it on Wednesday nights. It's usually when I'm live. It's Wednesday nights at 8:30.
I do want to go on record as saying I did call that. I called that first one.
I call it every episode.
You called the music. You called the music, and I was like, nope, Saturday Night Live is going to get you.
Yeah, I think that was the first one. Then I got not struck. I got hit by the other one, and then they started arguing with each other over who owns my video. And so YouTube was.
I think it was Saturday Night Live that shut you down. You can fight that. You don't want to.
Yeah, really. I was just gonna put a big face, my face over those scenes, making a funny or some weird face. Yeah, I know. All right, I got a new channel.
Rest in peace, Peter's channel. We hardly knew you.
Yeah. I'll just start a new one with flapjacks and hookers and volcanoes, like a volcano lair, evil volcano lair. I'm gonna drop it on.
Great reference, great throwback
on DC. Volcano lair.
Nah.
Yeah, new channel. It's gonna be great.
It's awesome. Jeremy, I am wholeheartedly thankful that you were able to come out here and hang out with us tonight, man. This has been a blast.
Yeah. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. And now the book has even more depth to it.
I've been interviewed for my art before, but this is my first like with my comics, and this was like
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anytime you want to jump.
You're due now for the next one you drop. You're due here. We're
definitely.
There's no pencil work on this. You're inked in on that.
Yeah, and anytime you want to go look at some cool like indie books, or we're looking at something, you're like, hey, I want to like check it out. You're welcome to join us, man.
You've never been on a banned video before. Like, let's get banned. Let's go, bro.
I don't get banned because I'm that offensive. I'm like mildly offensive. Not bad.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, anytime I have something out, I'll definitely let you know. I'll get Mike in here too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'll be great.
I need the answer to my Rose question. What was your Rose question?
What's the Rose question?
Oh, here we go. On a scale of 1 to Peter, how sassy is Rose?
Rose is way sassier than me.
Oh, her character in the book or the real person? Oh, in the book? Yeah, very sassy. I mean, you saw the picture of her in Delusions, so that's
I'm more like Blush.
What's that?
I'd be more of a Blush. Actually, I'd be more
of a identify with the cook. The cook is the one that I like.
I'd actually be more like Pinky. Actually, I'd be like scoping places out, drunk, like laughing, just having a good time. That's probably my character.
My luck, I would be the guy stuck in spider webs with twigs all over his ass.
They're going to make a big appearance in book 2. They come out of those clothes. Those are.
Oh yeah. I was curious about what that was. That's like a very interesting choice, by the way. And I'm gonna pull up a page so we can show it real quick because I was wondering where you got the idea to do that for the patter slaves. Do they have like a name?
Mind slaves.
Mind slaves.
They will in book 2. They become more characters in book 2.
So like these are the slaves in the castle, Gray Skull, like you was saying. Where are they at?
Yeah, they're covered. Right here. Their clothes are tent worms, just like tent worm covering. And they're vacuuming.
I don't know where you come up with this shit, but damn, dude, that's just funny.
You know, I like how immediately apparent that is. Like, you know what's going on in that first panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. That page took a long time to draw.
Yeah, especially on like a phone.
Yeah, that's how I like it. You just get used to it. I don't know. It's my ignorance. I don't know anything better.
You drew that shit on the phone?
Yeah, with a stylus.
Holy crap.
Yeah, the same phone I'm talking to you on.
What program did you use?
Bada Bang Paint.
Okay, cool. I had like Corel Mobile had like Painter Lite, I guess you could say. And it was a good app for a long time, and it's still pretty good if you have a good stylus and a good working phone, but they never updated it, and now it was like $7 you can unlock everything, and it has some really cool, impressive brushes and colors and everything. But they never put out another one, and I think they're just hoping that, like, I can't get it to work on half of my stuff now. My old phone works pretty good. The newest phone works pretty good. Everything in between is like, But
I'm gonna have to switch phones. I'm gonna have to switch phones for my new book because, like, I've had this one for 4 years. It's a Droid 20.
Mine's like it won't charge.
Which one do you have?
I have a Droid Android Galaxy 20.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're preaching to the choir on that. My entire YouTube channel, everything that I do is on an S10. I feel you, man.
Yeah, it's just cool having your whole studio just fits in your fanny pack.
Yeah.
So for your next Samsung, are you thinking of a Note so you can do a wider look at your art and everything, or what are you going with?
I have a phone. My aunt sent it to me. It's a really good one. I haven't really looked at it yet. But it's like she got it and then she just doesn't really. She got something else, so I'm just taking this.
He hit the screen. He hit the screen to like do a thing. I've seen that motion before.
Yeah,
that sucks. It's been there. Yeah, he'll be back in just a second.
But like I said,
That's
guys,
enviable, man. He did this entire 160-page comic book on a phone, dude. No excuses.
Imagine how tiring?
What's that dude's name that just like that guy that like everybody harasses because of his bullshit comic book that he put out? That
Eric
he paid
July?
people to do? Eric July.
Yeah.
Hand that motherfucker a phone and see what he can do.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if it would be much better. You had to have a story, and that's the thing that makes this book really good, is that it's got an awesome story.
Yeah. Never in a million years would I thought of a story like this. This is very unique and stands out on its own.
Yeah, that's what we need, man. We need more of that. We need more like really cool original ideas, and it's refreshing, man. Yeah. It's really refreshing to read something that's I've never read, and it's good. It's like funny, and it's it's a very entertaining book all the way through.
Yeah, I said this never would have thought of earlier because I couldn't get a word in with everything going on. But this book reset my expectations for indie comics in a good way, and I want to see more stuff like this. Sure, I'll still back the superhero books, the detective books, all that stuff, but stuff like this is always going to get my money first from now on.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Something I've never heard of or seen. I think that's kind of where I've been lately in my headspace.
This is going to be one of my arguments. I sit there and I talk about like how Hollywood wants to put out their endless like rehashes of the same story. Like Fantastic Four, redoing the storyline. Let's reboot the franchise. Let's give a sequel over and over and over again. This is what we need more of. This is what I bitch about with all is make a movie out of this.
They should like Netflix should pick this up because this would be a great one of those streaming services. You got to talk to some streaming services.
You got to stop talking shit about him now.
Oh yeah,
I heard everything. It was really cool.
I heard everything.
No.
So, man. Thank you. Everything you're saying, man. Really
Delusions of Grandeur done and Pitter Patter Book 1 done. Which one's coming down the pipeline next? Like, is it Pitter Patter 2 or is something else?
Pitter Patter Book 2 will be out in 2026, and then there's Pitter Patter Book 3, and then I'm gonna do a whole different series after that, like a fantasy series.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm all in, dude. As soon as you get book 2 ready to go, hit both of us up and we'll be chilling the shit out of it.
It will take a bit. It'll be like, it'll be like 80, 90 pages. So, and each page takes up to like 5 days to 6 days to do. So it's like, I definitely would love to.
I want to.
Yeah. If you need anything, like you need any picture, if I put on a wig, shave, what, dude? I'm sold. I want in on that.
I've got wigs, dude. Somewhere around here, I've got wig. I mean, hypothetically, there could be a wig around here. So.
Well, I mean, it'll be something like a cool thing about Delusions of Grandeur. You know how they had all the talent shows.
Yeah, the talent shows.
A lot of those I didn't give them any storyboards. I just told them like what to do. Just send me a bunch of photos of you doing this.
Oh my God, I want that. I want to be there as somebody who's like, I need if you have a thing in mind and you're like, I need somebody to do a thing, I'm there for you. I'm 100% sold. Like I got your back.
Like okay, yeah.
With the freedom to like do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like what I really am like the scene where Moab is eating all the hot dogs,
Yeah.
Like in the second one when she's like completely savage, and I just said I wrote Rachel Reed, who plays Moab. I wrote to her and I said, just send me a bunch of photos of you eating hot dogs like you're on bath salts.
Oh my God, I want instructions like that.
Savage photos.
There was one that was really epic. Like she was really going crazy on those hot dogs.
Wait to draw this, and
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
It's like really into it.
Yeah,
And
it's one of my favorite pages. It was just so cool, and it's like it's a comic book, but there's like spontaneity, like
and everyone's like,
I've never heard of that in a comic book.
and everyone's like, oh my god, what the fuck?
I want the opportunity to send you photos like that.
I love the expressions, man. They're like, oh shit, that's great, dude.
Yeah.
There's a new line for you to do now. It's the Pitter Patter OnlyFans channel.
Yeah, I mean, I picture you guys in a commercial dancing. Commercial.
Yes. We'll dance together.
Yeah, put you guys together and have some choreography. It'd be really fun.
Game on.
100%.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I'll just send you some photos of choreo, like try to hit that as best as possible. And that's what I did with the whole the last scene in Pitter Patter, where it's like a bunch of people dancing. A lot of those people were from around the world, like friends from the social media.
Rad.
Like
that's such a great way of doing that.
And they're from France, and it's just I would just send them photos of people dancing that I thought were doing cool moves, and I'm like, just hit that as good as possible. Send me those photos, and what you can't do, I can fix. I mean, I can fix it in post with just drawing.
So you need us. You need us to do something. You need us to do something like Michael Jackson's "The Way You Make Me Feel." You need us to do that kind of choreography.
I mean, that's what I picture just offhand. Is like you guys like in a commercial together. For something.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Selling used cars, or I don't know. It's got to be something kind of late '80s. So. We'll keep in touch, but I definitely want, I'll make sure, you guys have the best time. It's something that you would have a lot of fun doing,
Dude, that's right up our alley, man. Like everything about that.
That comes out in the photos.
I've been begging for this calling.
To draw, and to make the scene better and everything. So yeah, I really like working with people that understand the assignment and are into it, so it's awesome.
This is great. Oh my god.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
All right, man. This is one of the books.
Cool. Yeah.
So, are you still in the writing stages for book 2, or are you now at the artist? I have
a skeleton put out. I usually have a skeleton of a framework of the whole book, and then things and then scenes will hit me. I'll just get I usually get one good idea a day if I think about it. If I put my mind into it and actually want to have one, then usually I get one idea that I'm really excited about doing a day, and then as I just write this, I wrote the first chapter 1 out, and I'm really excited about it. And it's the show that they go on to, that they left to go for Detroit. And it's a very popular Detroit show that was in the late 80s, early 90s. And I'm excited to just deep dive into it for that scene. And that's when usually I'll have the ideas, and then more and more will come in, but then I sit down and then just pull it together. And usually I can get a chapter written in about 4 days.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. And that's the first draft. And then I go through about, 1 trillion drafts. I do edits and changes and punch up jokes and punch up lines and up until publishing.
See, that's what I've been. I'm not the greatest. I'm not the greatest writer out there, but I'm trying to get better at it. So I've been taking a lot of these scenes that I'm writing because I'm trying to work on a book. Jake he's got a book. It's coming out pretty soon. Yeah. I draw. That's what I normally do is draw. But writing is something I'm trying to get better at. And so,
what do you have trouble with writing? Is it writing the book
focus,
or writing the lines?
Mostly focus. Just making myself. I can sit down and draw all day and night. Trying to get myself, I have cool ideas, but trying to get myself to sit down and write them out and do all that. it's like it's hard to get me. Once I'm in the space, then it's like oh yeah, and then I can write for hours. Trying to get myself in that groove is like that's hard, man. It's hard to do that with drawing as well.
You can't get people to leave them the fuck alone. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. I can't get like a moment's peace.
Well, like doing the book this way, like it's easy to write lines for the characters because they're people that I know and I can visualize them so well. Like, you know, when I write for them, I can like visual it cinematically in my head, in my imagination.
Yeah.
And so lines can come out easier than if I didn't do that. If I was just drawing, you know,
brand new characters.
Yeah,
that is something that I noticed. The character, reading some books, I have noticed when people write, all the characters kind of sound like one person speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that I actually noticed right off the bat is how every character in this book has like a unique personality.
Thanks.
And that has to come like naturally or something because there's a lot of people that can't get that it seems like a simple concept, but I've read a lot of books where that's people just they don't get it. Everything sounds like one person running.
Thank you. Well, with Delusions, it's like all the characters, you know, were just really eccentric, you know, because they're all ex-cult leaders, like the most notorious cult leaders that were in the planet at the time. So they're all trying to become normal citizens. So it's like this, but they're just extremely eccentric characters. So it was just fun it was easy for them to have their own personality because they're just eccentric. But it was easy to write, this is how you're eccentric. This is how you're eccentric, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are some of the comedies that inspire you and that you enjoy that kind of like lend its craft to you?
I guess like the most recent comedy that I really got into, I love The Righteous Gemstones.
Okay.
That was great. I loved, absolutely loved the finale for that. And I really, really loved the show that was before The Righteous Gemstones, Vice Principals. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Yes, sir.
No, I haven't.
Really,
I forget that guy's name, but that actor that does that character.
Yeah,
for all of those,
he plays Baby Billy. Plays his
Walton Goggins. I love Walton Goggins, but no, the other guy, the guy.
The main guy.
Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
Martin Sheen.
I can't even remember what movies he's been in. He's done a lot of stuff. He did that one, The End of the World or whatever.
This is the end.
This is the end. One? Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, why am I not thinking of his name right now? I'm just not.
Yeah, I know. It's Vice Principals. Yeah, Vice Principals. Because my wife is a teacher. Peter's wife is a principal. So that one speaks to me.
Yeah, I really, really loved Walton Goggins' character in Vice Principals. Like, I watched it, and it would make me jealous. Like, just to wear those clothes and to say those lines. The stuff that he was doing was just like, I would love to be doing this. I'm so jealous.
Where was that page? I was going to zoom in on the blah, 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 to make it out.
That's the pattern.
This scene right here is great when he's running around and then.
Oh my god!
He gets in that
That's his talent show. Yeah. Well, before he was a ventriloquist. Before he used to be a ventriloquist dummy, he used to lift heavy objects with his genitals.
And so then he had to switch out his routine.
Relapse in the closet. And so Georgie ran in and caught him. It was a scene of horror for him. George, you never seen it before. You never saw his old talent show, I guess.
So, what did you do to get that guy to take those pictures?
85 away.
I don't actually show it, so it was easy to do the photos. Yeah, it was a lot of fudging on that one.
That is fucking compromising.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through this book. This is Delusions of Grandeur. I need to get the Pitter Patter digital. I need to go find the digital on Pitter Patter.
Oh, you can go to Global Comics and see it on there.
Like Global Comics. All right, let me check
Yeah.
that out. Global Comics. Pitter Patter. Pitter Patter. What the Global Sitter Patter? What's up with my?
Well, Biggs asked, what do you actually do to get that guy to take those pictures?
They just send him the storyboard.
I'm taking notes. Just send him the storyboard and see what happens. I like
Hold
that
on,
approach.
I can do that.
Peter would be more than happy to take pictures like this for you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right up
I'll
the
do
alley
it.
there.
Yeah, like definite stuff coming.
Oh my god.
All right, what do we got? I
Uh-oh.
accept mature content. I accept.
We don't accept. Wait, what?
It's on. I accept this on behalf of Jake's channel. Oh, there we go. More of the people. And are those like mines? Are those like mines
yeah,
in the
it's
water?
the pool. Yeah, because Blush's house was what the Cult Leader Anonymous Center was in Delusions of Grandeur.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the same place. So that's the pool that in Delusions where Sally does the water aerobics at. So that's the same pool, but it's just that in the 80s when it was Blush's mansion.
And of course, they're like super villains essentially.
Yeah.
So they gotta have.
So they just have like
mines in the
some
pool.
World War II mines floating in the pool, and they're cleaning them out.
They're cleaning them out.
Yeah, it's part of their chores.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
This is the mouth washing.
Yeah.
The mother's making him pitter patter, right? She's like making him do it.
Embarrasses them, pisses off the family. Mouths off to the families. They do their pitter patter, and it makes them go over to where they're the pool cleaners, and he goes into the cleaning bucket and unwraps the soap, and then sticks.
Did he literally have to put soap in his mouth? What did he have to do for that?
No.
I would do that. I would do that. I'm just saying.
It was actually a bear claw.
So then that's when Mathula, while he's getting his mouth washed off, you can hear that she wants to give the little backstory about when she used to be beautiful. And then,
she was like, yeah.
So that goes back into this town that she grew up in, and it looks like it's from the 1800s in some Eastern Europe 1800s village, and everyone works at a burlap factory. So made all their clothes out of burlap, and then she makes her money selling her bath water.
Shit.
This is her memory. So she's just this spidery, super thin, spidery creature. And then everyone's selling their bath water. And then one day this mysterious guy comes into town. Now this guy was a fan from Delusions. He's from Italy, and he read it on Comic Fury, and he really liked it a lot. So I was like, well, you got to be in my next one. So so he comes into this town, and he's got, I don't know why, but he's got really huge hands and really big feet. He beats up everybody, and then he puts a big baby inside of Thula, comes and seduces her, and then the next page, she rips his head off.
And he goes out singing and dancing.
Yeah, it's the nutrition for the gestation for the baby, and then finally the water breaks, but looks like a doula had to crawl 20 miles to the nearest hospital.
Dude, I wish I could zoom in on this, because the panels this is they don't do looking at it like this, don't do it justice.
And then this guy too, he was a fan from Delusions. He really liked Delusions a lot. So I made him the doctor. So he's delivering the baby. And then this is one of Mike's jokes, Blush. He said because she's so like thin that when she lifts her shirt to show the baby should look like it's saran wrapped.
Yeah. Yeah, with skin.
A saran wrapped like vacuum sealed baby up against like a spine. And then she says, "Do you want to feel it kick? You want to feel the baby kick?" So the doctor puts his hand out, and instead of touching the baby on the belly, she uses a little hammer and hits the baby's knee to Texas reflex. The baby kicks into the doctor's hand. I'm sorry, the phone keeps going out on my end.
No, you're good.
Mo Biggs asked, can you like zoom in on this, Peter? Requests on the naked baby.
So
The baby's not naked. The baby's inside of a womb right
not,
there,
yeah,
Mo.
Baby's covered. It's not naked. But, so the doctor
for the
is trying to get the
dancing
baby out. The baby doesn't want to leave. And then finally the red carpet unfurls out of the mother. And the baby, it's a young Blush. Blush is a little baby. And Blush is running out singing the song, Put Another Nickel in the Nickelodeon. Which is an actual song. You guys know that one at all, or
No, I don't know that. I might have heard it.
It's like from like the 50s. Like, is it Patty Page? I think did it. Put another nickel in the Nickelodeon. All I want is loving you and music. It's like a ragtime.
Oh, man, that's funny.
It was known from, a forgotten song. So, like, and then, so then she sees that since Blush came out. Oh, go back one page. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
You go back one. And then, so she's looking at Blush and she's all happy, but then Blush, look what happened to her. Look what happened to her. All of a sudden, she's like, regular.
She's like fat.
Yeah, well, I would.
And we got
Drops the baby. And to see, because she's so shocked. And then the next page, and so Blush spits the soap out finally, and he's like, every time you tell this story, it gets weirder and weirder. And he wipes his hand so his hand can drop the soap. And then, they're arguing, and then
they start laughing at him again.
Yeah, they're laughing at him again, and then when they open their eyes, Blush has escaped. Oh, because Blush finds out that he sent after Chi-Chi's, he went to Rose's house. She had a camcorder, and she told Blush that she's going to film him for his audition tape for Star Search. So they sent it to Star Search, and then this is when they find out that the tape came back in. So Blush left. And he's heading over to Rose's place.
Start reading next. Oh wait, no, that's.
Is that Global Comics?
Yeah, but I think it's because it does it by chapter, so I'll just go to the next.
Oh yeah, just go to chapter 6 then. Yeah. So then this starts. Oh, it's out of order. Oh man. I gotta fix that.
So that.
I gotta fix that. Oh no.
And then that's an ad. Okay, so it was an ad.
Okay, so this is kind of out of order a little bit. So this page at the left should be further in. I'm gonna take care of that tomorrow. So it should start at the page at the right, and we see Blush, and he's singing a song about how he's never, he just never feels. It's a song about Ed McMahon and how Ed McMahon's going to help him and take him into his next level and help him become a great person because he's going to put him on Star Search, and Blush is going to do his dance on Star Search and become a cult leader. So he's riding over to Rose's place, and she's going to show him the letter. So he's running in, singing the Ed McMahon song. He goes into an elevator, and it's crammed full of people, and he's singing the song, and he's annoying everyone because of that. And then as he comes in, she sees Rose. Rose is singing, and then you go to the first page in there, which is supposed to be after there.
Oh, okay. That's when we get
laughing.
this page right
So
here.
that page, it shows the Shield reads the letter, and then it shows Ed McMahon and one of the Star Search models, and they're just laughing and laughing, and like just that's all they do is laugh. So it's like he's getting laughed at again, but this time it's in a letter from Ed McMahon, and so it just completely crushes him. And so yeah, then we go into if you go back one. I'm sorry, can you go back just one?
Yeah, right here.
Thank you. So then, thank you. And then, so that page on the right, so he's just completely stunned and he's just ready to give up. He's like, well, maybe if I go back to work a few more months, I can become assistant manager at the Triple Chi. And then, then we go to the next page and she's not having it. She slaps him. She says, you can never quit. And then she just starts doing like a little bit of a patter, like she's got it in her. He sees it's not quite, there's patter, which is talking, and then there's pitter patter, which is the dancing. So in Delusions, they talk about the cult leader's patter. And that's when you know you're a cult leader, when you have that patter. But,
is that a thing? Is that like an actual thing?
No, I made it up.
Okay. I was going to say, because you got like a whole like theory behind all of this. There's like the tonguing, the two that like make out all the time, and how that's their pitter patter. And
that's their little patter to each other. Yeah. So, it's a real word. I made it up for this, but it's from patter from a real word. But so here so he sees that and he's like, wow, you're amazing. You're so good. And then she's like, all right, this is what we're going to do. My shift's going to start. You're going to take it for me. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to get, I'm just going to call in a bunch of favors and I'm going to be your manager and I'm going to get you on TV so you can do this. And he's like, fine. Then after that, I'll help you become a cult leader. And then so they make a deal. So she's now his manager.
Okay. There we go.
Oh, cut to a commercial. So here we cut to the first one is I'm missing a page on that one, Can you go to the next page? Is there man, I just really screwed this up. I gotta go. This is just a commercial, so you can go to the next chapter, but I gotta fix that order too.
Foods. It's another funny thing. I've always talked about this idea of food. Okay, and I always called it FUD, food. Why don't they just make food cubes, right? They have everything that you need. You don't have to have the flavor and everything associated with like eating food. Just give me sustenance, right? And call it FUD.
That's a great idea.
But they actually I actually found FUD food. Like their hot dogs and stuff over at our grocery store, but it actually exists. Food exists.
This is food sticks.
I like the idea, man. I've always thought it'd be great to have some, I don't need to make a sandwich. I don't need to make a pizza or anything. I just want to eat food. Whatever I need.
The way you think.
Just give it to me so that I can keep going. I don't need to think about what I'm going to eat today.
Get him some food.
Yeah. So I like this commercial. This is funny.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, 2 commercials. One is from Mauve, and she says her name backwards here, but she's a character. She's the cult leader who is she used to run the Illuminati, but so that's what she was in Delusions for. That was the cult that she used to run. So back here, she's kind of like still that character, but this is her doing a commercial for those workplace training exercises that were done in Delusions, because you find out in Delusions that the Illuminati created workplace training exercises to help control the population. And it's a lot of reasoning to get into, but I do talk about how it works and stuff like that. And so this is a commercial for him in the 80s. It's like a little bit of a backstory. So
I like this panel right here. This like kid gnawing on it with the backwards hat on. That shit looks funny, man. That's a funny panel right here. All right, so that was a chapter commercial.
Let's hope this one's in order. This one's good.
Okay, this is one that we were looking at earlier.
Yes.
This is where he goes back to work.
So this right here, this was this is what I was saying about. This was the most fun photo shoot, was this chapter here, and it was just like a blast to shoot this one. So here we see Blush. He's riding into work. He's going to take over Rose's spot. He's rehearsing how he's going to say it because he's not supposed to be there. He was suspended for another week, so he's not supposed to be there, but he's going to do it anyways. He's going to assert himself, but it's hard because he hasn't hit puberty yet, so he doesn't really have much of a spine. So like he gets into work and he's all ready to throw it down, and then everyone at work just like so happy to see him. They just feel bad about the way they treated him, and they shower him with love. He was not expecting that. Everyone's apologizing for how they're treating, and then Mr. Scotia is a stepson, Trail. He's plays that character, and he makes him the assistant manager, and just blowing Blush's mind. You can't believe this. Everyone's being so nice. He's trying to tell about how happy he is, and his voice starts to crack, and he hits puberty. So you can see his little. I gave him a little dirtbag stoner mustache, and I gave his little eyebrows bushier, and I gave him some leg hair, and I had that redrawn with a Sharpie. And then so Blush is like, he's freaking out. He's going to puberty, and he starts beating his chest about it to get it out. He screams out Yahtzee. Now then he shows Blush, and it's fully gone through. And so Mr. Scotia drops the keys into his hands, and then he leaves. And then so Blush is all ready, and then he finds out that
those assholes are there again.
Yeah, Pinky and Chi-Chi. What was her name? Was it Fifi? Oh man, what was her name? I had a great name for her. Well, his name was Pinky, and they're back, and they're having their birthday this time, and they want Blush. They want Blush to be the waiter. So Blush is ready. He doesn't want to go to the next page. And so he's ready to do it, and it's his birthday, so they want him to do the song, and he's like, no way, I'm the manager, I'm too good for this, like what are people gonna think? And then she convinces him to do it. So he comes over there with three of the wait staff, and then they go in and they break into the birthday song. So I've just drawing it out. It's just like so wild. So I basically had to come up with this really long, like one of the most annoying things is to be stuck at a chain restaurant and they're doing the birthday song. And I've had to do it. I worked at Bennigan's, and so I had to do it, like a long time ago. And so I just wanted to really make it the most annoying thing possible.
This panel on the left page, bottom right of the left page, I noticed there's a few times the way you put these word bubbles, there's a lot that I'm like, that I was looking at, I'm like, oh man, that's a lot to read. But then I look at it, I'm like, oh no, it's not. It's like people doing stuff in the background. And like right here on that panel in particular, he's not happy with this, and everybody is like beating him over the head. These word bubbles are literally
I'm building
overwhelming
up
him.
Word bubbles. Using word bubbles to build tension and to make it.
And that's
snaps.
That's clever, man. That's a cool use of word bubbles. Like the word bubbles have a personality in a sense.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And so he snaps and he does his first pitter patter. So, because they want him to do his dance. They're like, do your dance that they laughed at. So he does it. And he hypnotizes the whole restaurant, and the song just keeps going and going and going. And it just goes on for hours. And I had to just keep extending this birthday song and writing new lyrics. And I had to write it for 10 pages.
We don't want to go too far. Do we want to do it? Do we want to show it right now? I mean, anybody could go to Comic Solid or whatever this is. It Comic Solid?
You know what?
Mobile Comics. You want to? All right, let's do it. This page got me, man. They're just dancing and it's nonstop.
And then and the two are frozen. They can't move. But they're in a lot of pain. It really hurts to be stuck on this. To be like doing this for hours, and everyone's singing and dancing, and this is going on for like 10 hours. You're completely exhausted, and they're under this hypnotic spell, and it hurts to be under it. You find out that they're like, please stop, but they can't, And it gets
Mo Biggs can relate in the chat.
And Blush doesn't know how to turn it off. He knows how to do it, but he doesn't know how to turn it off. It's his first time doing this. So he's like trying to dance it off, and it's not happening. And so he's just waiting for them to stop. And it's not happening. So he goes up to one of the waiters and says, hey, it looks like he's slowing down. He wants to talk to him. And as he touches him, his head explodes.
They just explode. It's like, what?
He's just stuck there, and he's covered in the blood. And then he like looks over, and then that's when the one of them, which one is it?
The wife.
The wife, yeah, her head explodes. And then he just goes, don't tell my mom. And then
everybody starts exploding.
They're all dancing and doing choreo, but their heads are exploding and exploding and exploding, and everyone explodes. And then it just shows Blush under the completely terrified. He's under there, and you see the last one dancing. It's Brenda, and, and then her head pops. And then,
then we got a special report.
And then we cut to this is the second news break. So you're watching the show as it happens. Well, while this is happening, and we're seeing the Blush's history and his past to the being told through the musical, Blush in real life is in prison. He's being held at this place called Bruthold, and it's a prison system that was built specifically to hold him. And there's he breaks out of the prison while this is happening. So while the movie about his life is happening, he plans a prison escape. And it's showing on the news break because he's supposed to be interviewed after be interviewed after his movie was done. And so that's why Leo is a reporter, and he's there to do that at the prison facility. And then while this is happening, Blush's shock collar, he gets out of his shock collar, and then he hypnotizes, does his pitter patter, and hypnotizes all the cops that are in his cell, and just chaos erupts. And then Leo gets out of there, and then the people at the news channel are like, well, this is, like, what do we do about this? And it's like, well, back to the show. And so book 2 is going to have a lot more of that, a lot more of what's going on in real time. So it's two things happening at once, and then it even does a bigger twist in book 3. So Blush goes to Rose. Rose is like, what are you doing? Like, what happened? He's like, nothing's happened. Why do you think something's happened? And she points to the mirror, and Blush sees himself covered in the blood of all the chi workers and customers. And then so, like, why don't you tell me what actually happened? Blush can't say a word. He's in shock, but he can. He can do a, what's that called? Pantomimes it out, so she can kind of gets a background of what's happening. Oh, charades it out. He does charades.
Yeah.
And so she figures it out because they have so much in common, and they're such good friends that she knows exactly what he's saying. And then she's like, look, it's fine. I got you on the show. We just got to leave right now, and you can, we got you on this, and then you can do your big thing. But I got you on, and we're leaving right now. And she's like, how do you feel about Detroit? And then that's the end.
Mo Big says the book has profoundly affected Peter. It's good to see him ready to love an IP again for the first time since the cancellation of Angela Anaconda.
That's true.
This book's great, man. I'm very happy that Peter actually talked me into reading this book because I found it fantastically entertaining. It's bizarre. It's outlandish. It's insane, the idea that you have for this book of a pitter-patter dance to control the world. Just It boggles the mind, but it works so well.
So much fun to do. Like, it's the most fun that I've had with any of my creative like ventures in my life.
Yeah.
You know, it was just nonstop cracking myself up. You know, me and my friends cracking up, you know, just, yeah, it was just such a great time. You know, I'm so excited. I took a break because I needed to just kind of get it out of me for a bit. And I went back to painting and I did an art show, and that just happened like a few weeks ago, and that went great. So I'm just now back into this and just really, really energized, especially after talking to you guys. You guys are really good. You guys are really great cheerleaders.
That's good to hear too, because that's what we like. That's what we want to be.
Maybe I'll make you guys
promote more of this kind of stuff.
You guys are awesome.
That's why we're here, man. Like, we see less and less of people just like sitting down and having a good chat about books they back, where instead you just like have people go out and shill their book, you accept it, then you post about it, then you hear nothing about it. But actually sitting down with creators, talking about the books, doing these Grody reviews or reviewing them over on Peter's channel like we do. Yeah. This is what the indie platform is supposed to be about: promoting each other, continuously talking about the products that we buy, and not just sitting them and letting them collect dust. Like, actually giving recognition, giving our critiques, criticisms, or our enjoyments of the books. That is what it is about, because that's how people get better. Yeah. That's how you get the word out, and that's how you create the community and grow it larger.
Yeah, man. Like, we got a new friend here.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first time. I really just when I get the free time, I just put it into creating, and I don't really do much promotion. I don't like that whole side.
It is rough.
I just do what I just put it out and hope for the best, you know, and promote a little on social media. I just don't get the free time. I'm family.
That's where we got all these. There's a big community out there that want to support books like this, and we're always growing. We're getting better. We're bringing people in and everything. That's what it's all about. And it makes it easier for everybody to help each other, you know?
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Yeah.
Mo Big says, Jeremy, as the only viewer, I too would like to welcome you to the
show. We got such a big viewership here.
No, I appreciate it.
It'll spread, really though. Cool. It'll get around.
Yeah. I love it. So, well, great. Right.
Yeah, awesome, we're at the top of 2 hours now. Jeremy, is there any place that we can find you or locate you?
My socials, I'm pretty easy to find. Like I said, Jeremy and Harvey. It's Jeremy Harvey on Facebook, Jeremy and Harvey on Instagram, Blue Sky and Threads. Global Comics is I got to fix the order in Pitter Patter, but it's the best place to find my stuff. It's the best resolution, but it's on other places too. But thank you guys.
Thank you.
Man. Thank you. This is a great book. Keep up the good work.
Peter, what do we got going on next week? Do you know yet?
I don't know, but if I keep watching like commercials and stuff, I'm eventually going to end up getting my channel nixed. So I might think of talking food or something. I don't know. Like junk food, something fun. Like, what's the best junk food out there? Mo, what's your favorite junk food? He was talking about social media.
Yeah, he said, Jeremy, is there any way we can find you? Turn off Google Maps, Peter. He was talking about social media. All right. Well, with that note,
we just wish you would get the hell out of my face! Get out of my face! Get out! Don't even look back here! Forget about us!